Hey everybody, can everybody see us? Just chime in if you can see us. Anybody? Oh, wow, we got a nice little group coming in here. This is great. This video is being recorded, everybody, because there's a lot of people that are on vacation and said they would love to join, but they can't right now. So we are recording this. We'll send out the link tomorrow. But welcome, all of you, to the journey of being the parent of an Emory freshman. We are so excited to meet all of you. I am Lee Schaefer. I am the campus director of Emory Hillel, and uh, I am right now in Los Gatos, California. I am doing in-person parent events, trying to get out to meet everybody. I was in Los Angeles earlier this week, meeting with some wonderful folks. We've done Baltimore, we've done New York, we've done Florida. We like to get out there. My team doesn't know it yet, but they will also eventually be getting out there to see all of you. But it is our pleasure to get to know you guys because you are part of the Emory Hillel family. And I know that that seems trite on the surface, but believe me when I tell you that your presence is just as important to your students' lives and to our lives and to everybody else. We can't tell you how important it is to have great relationships with parents. So, without further ado, our staff is going to introduce themselves as we go into each section, but I do want to put up our slideshow so you guys can see what we're going to talk about tonight. And of course, it started on the wrong point, but let me get back to the beginning here. There's probably a better way to do it, but there we go. Sorry. You guys get to see how inept I am at electronics here. So anyway, we're going to talk about who we are and where we're going. So the basic agenda of what we're going to talk about tonight is going to introduce the staff. Nikki is not going to be able to join us tonight, and Nav is not going to be able to join us tonight, but we will talk about them. We're going to talk about why Hillel, what differentiates us from other student organizations on campus, and what can we offer your kids coming in. We're going to talk about programming from a freshman perspective, from a student perspective, and how we compete or how we join with other aspects of the state of Georgia in the Hillels of Georgia system. Then we're going to talk about how you as parents can help and what's going to be coming up. And then we'll do a Q&A session at the end. So again, I'm Lee Schaefer. I came to Emory Hillel after 20 years in healthcare, but I did begin my career working in the Hillel world. After October 7th, my wife and I looked at each other and say, how can we help? What is the best way we can volunteer? And I went to the Jewish Life Festival at the Georgia Aquarium and happened to run into the Hillel table and met our CEO, Rabbi Larry Cernovitz. And within a week, I was back in the Hillel world, and I have loved every second of it from that point on. I've got three kids, one of which is going to be a rising senior this year, so I'm going to be going through exactly what a lot of you are going through 1 year from now. Lindsay, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Lindsay. I'm the Student Engagement and Programming Coordinator. There's some fun facts on the slide about me if you're interested, but this is now my second year here at Emory. It is my fourth year working for the Hillel movement. Before coming to Atlanta last year, I was working as the Springboard Fellow on the team at UCF Hillel in Orlando. So if any of you are from Florida, go Florida. And I'm very happy to be part of the team. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I actually just got back today from seeing my family, and I'm very happy to be here and be part of the Emory Hillel team.
Tessa, your turn.
Hi, I'm Tessa. I'm the Springboard Innovation Fellow. I'm going to my second year here, and it's been incredible. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. So for those of you who have kids a bit far, I don't definitely understand what it's like moving far away. And I'm super excited to be here. I was pretty involved in my Hillels in college. I was a freshman during COVID, so Hillel is just such a wonderful organization, very supportive.
Thank you, Tessa. Einav can't be with us tonight. Einav is our Israel fellow, and she is actually in Israel right now, getting ready for the MTF trip, which we will talk about later on in this presentation. Einav has been a godsend to us from just a perfect staff member for Emory. She is so knowledgeable about Israel and culture and politics, and she has a way of connecting with students that is incredible. And we are so lucky to have her. And she'll be here this year and next year as well, hopefully. And she'll get to know all of you as the year goes on, I promise. Introducing Rabbi Nikki Golem. This was our big surprise that as of July 1st, we have hired our first rabbi. Um, we cannot be more excited. One of the things that we have been told by students over the last year is that we needed more of a spiritual life component of Hillel. And we listened to our students, we listened to our constituency, and we spent the last year looking for the perfect person. And Rabbi Nikki fell into our laps as just an incredible opportunity for us. And she is going to be such an important member of our team going forward. She again also wanted to be here tonight, but had prior engagements going on. You will all get to know Rabbi Nikki, especially when you come in for the welcome events, which we'll talk about later. Rabbi Nikki will be leading her first service ever during pre-orientation Shabbat. So her first service for Hillel. She's led services before. She's a rabbi, but we are very excited to have her. So, why Hillel? Uh, so, the best way to put this, Hillel is an organization for Jewish students at Emory. We focus on different pillars of life, and Lindsay's going to talk about more of these things in just a moment. But I do want to let you guys know that there are many, many, many opportunities for Jewish students at Emory University, and Hillel is just one of these groups that all get along, by the way. I know you've probably heard horror stories from other universities where Chabad and Hillel don't get along, or Mayor or other groups don't get along. Emory is a wonderful place where we all partner with each other on many, many different events, but there are differences. Hillel is much more of an umbrella organization. We focus on cultural and social and religious and Israel-related programs. We want students to have a well-rounded, egalitarian, pluralistic view of Judaism. We don't focus on denominations in any way. We're not focused on one avenue versus any others. And again, Lindsay's going to talk more about this in a second. But we are what you would consider to be the umbrella Jewish organization at Emory University. And Lindsay, why don't you talk about some of this stuff so people can get an idea of where we are from a different standpoint?
Amazing. I'm happy to. So as Lee has explained, we are Hillel, we are an umbrella organization, but we are not the sole Jewish organization on campus. We have multiple partners that we combine with, a beautiful list in front of you as well. Chabad, Mayor, and Hillel will partner together for different holidays and events throughout the year. Some of our highlights include our Hanukkah party, International Holocaust Remembrance Day will all come together. If any of you come to Welcome Brunch, which you definitely should, they will all be there. We also combine for our Israel Fest and Israel Week at the end of the year around the time of Yom Ha'atzmaut, Yom HaZikaron. So we are really proud of the collaboration that we see between our organizations. And as we said, okay. We also have different groups across different spans of interest. So if your students are coming in with an interest for Israel, we have our Eagles for Israel and our EPAC chapters. If they're interested in Jewish Greek life, there are many opportunities to be involved in Jewish Greek life in our fraternities and sororities. If they're interested in Israeli entrepreneurship, we have Tamid, and we have the incredible TAM Institute at Emory. So if anyone's interested in our Jewish studies program, TAM is the way to go. And we also have an amazing Hebrew department. I will give them a shout out as well. So what kind of programming do we do specifically? We have, as Lee said, we have a lot of different umbrellas. So I'll touch a little bit on what each of those umbrellas entails. The biggest thing that I like to tell people at Emory, your Jewish journey is defined on your own terms. We're not here to tell you how to do it. You choose to be involved in the ways that you want. So if your student is like, I'm here for Israel programming and only Israel programming, great. We have opportunities for that. If they come in and they're like, I want to show up for high holidays and call it a day, great. We will be so happy to see them at our high holiday programs this year. So it really is how they want to come, and we meet them where they are too. So we also will be on campus a lot throughout the week. Um, Before I get into programming, the other thing that I'll say is as a team, we love to get to know your students one-on-one. Programming is not the only means to an end. We also, and Risa will attest to this, so we love our coffee chats. So if your students love coffee or coffee shops or teas or anything like that, I will happily take them to a coffee and get to know them, and they can get whatever they want on the coffee shop menu. Same with Tessa, same with Einav, same with Rabbi Nikki. And even this year, some of our student leaders might be doing that too. So stay tuned. Um, so that's engagement on that perspective. But ultimately, we offer different umbrellas. So looking at our religious programming, high holidays are coming up much faster than we even know. We are very excited to be offering a full span of high holiday options provided by us and Rabbi Nikki taking lead this year for the first time since she started. So we'll be offering Rosh Hashanah services, Erev day 1 and day 2, also Kol Nidre services and day 1 and Yom Kippur services, break fast, meals throughout the holidays. So we're high holidays, we do religious and educational programming. So if your students like doing Torah study or Jewish learning around a certain topic, we have Rabbi Nikki and we have students that will create those opportunities. And our students love food, so the odds are there might be food at some of those programs. So we have the religious and learning programming. As Lee has said, we have an incredible Israel program here. We love Einav and she's incredible. And she brings Israel in all of its different ways to the table. So if people are interested in Israel advocacy, we bring in speakers and Israel educational opportunities. Last year we brought in 2 professors from the Middle Eastern Studies Department, and they did a roundtable on the current events happening in Iran. So we do a lot of Israel education. We also do a lot of Israel cultural. As I said, we did Israel Week. We had a giant Israel Fest at the end of Israel Week in the middle of campus, and everyone came together, and it was a giant Israel celebration. And throughout the year, Einav has done Israeli cooking. So if you want to learn how to make really great schnitzel, Einav is your go-to person because it is incredible, and I cannot have enough of it. She's done Hebrew Hangouts. So if you're looking to learn some Hebrew or if you're looking to practice your Hebrew, Einav will be your person for that. So Einav offers a full span. And I also always have to promote our birthright trip. Emory does have a birthright trip. So if your student is looking to go to Israel for free, they get to go with students actually throughout the state of Georgia. So not only do you get to go with Emory students, but you get to go to students from UGA, Georgia Tech, all across the board. So you get to meet a lot of different people from different backgrounds. So we have a winter trip and we have a summer trip. Keep that in mind. So that's a little bit of our Israel programming. We have an incredible student board, and Risa will talk a little bit more about her story in a moment. This year, I think I just counted the other day, we have a 15 student board leadership with multiple different positions that offer different types of programming. So they also create their own programs. We like to believe that Hillel is student-led, staff-supported. So the students create the ideas and the visions, and we are there to help them in whatever way that means. If they come to us with an idea, we are the people that say, that's great, how can we make it happen with you? Our students are our partners in this. So it's not just us deciding what we are doing for the students. We're also taking a lot of feedback. So hopefully all of your students by now have filled out our lovely survey, because we are looking at that freshman survey for the class of 2030, which is crazy that I'm saying that. And we are looking at what are their interests? What are they coming into Emory excited about and passionate about? And we're starting to think about what can we provide based on those interests. So that kind of ties in a little bit with the social programming, the religious programming, the Israel programming, all of that ties into one. Beyond that, if your students like bagels, we love food at Hillel. We are out on campus in the middle of the week every Thursday giving out free bagels at Schmooze and Schmear. Great time for a quick drop in, say hi, see how you're doing. I'll let Tessa talk a little bit more about Exploring Atlanta, which is another one of our social programs that we provide. So, with that all being said, and then the last thing I'll talk about, I almost forgot fellowships. If your students want to make a little bit of money to do 1 hour a week learning, we do provide that. This I'm trying to remember all of our fellowships because there's so many that we're working on right now. So if they want to do some in-depth Israel learning, Enav does a 6-week Kol Yisrael program, 1 hour a week, free dinner included. Risa just took it, and hopefully we'll say only good things about it. And you get money at the end of it, which is pretty cool. And it's 6 hours total. If you're interested in what does Judaism say about these big life questions that you have, we're going to be teaching the Jewish Learning Fellowship in the spring. And I think that's 10 weeks, 1 hour a week, dinner included. And they also make a stipend at the end of that. We have our Holocaust Learning Fellowship, which is a program that was actually designed by Emory students for Emory students about anti-Semitism through the Holocaust and how you can be better advocates today. And again, 6 weeks paid at the end. If you're picking up on the theme about the fellowships, most of them involve some payment at the end. And I'm excited to say that we are working on a freshman fellowship specifically so that first years can get to know each other and learn together. And it's not so much about life's big questions or Jewish text. It is, what does it mean to be a freshman at Emory? And who do you have to lean on through that? And so that is a program that we're really working on and writing and shaping right now. So I really hope that some of your students will be interested in that because I'm really excited about it. Okay, that has been a lot. Lee, let's continue.
Okay, so it's my turn. Hi, I'm Risa. I'm gonna be a sophomore this year, which is crazy to say. So I just finished my freshman year. I'm studying neuroscience on the pre-med track, and so the staff asked me to just like share about my experience being involved in Hillel during my freshman year. And I did a lot with Hillel throughout my freshman year. As Lindsay mentioned, and as Lee mentioned, and as Tessa will mention, we have so many programs throughout the year for freshmen to get involved in. So obviously in the beginning of the semester, there'll be the welcome back brunch and then also the pre-orientation Shabbat, which I attended both of those. And I met so many people and got introduced to so many Jewish organizations on campus. And then there are also numerous programs throughout the week, both in the building and on campus. So we have Schmooze and Schmear, as Lindsay mentioned, free bagels, also coffee. It's all great. So it's usually like in the center of campus on during the weekday for students. Just come hang, get a bagel, get some coffee, which is just a really nice break. And then I'm sure Tessa will also touch on Take Care Tuesdays, which was a program that she started last year where every Tuesday there would be like a different event, either in the Hillel building or on campus. So some memorable ones for me were definitely the sushi making, which was very fun. It was very delicious sushi. And then we also did like charcuterie boards on campus and a bunch of other ones, which were all like very fun. So a lot of food-based ones. And as a college student, free food is great. There also were like Hillel has Shabbat dinners every week, and in the fall semester there were some like pre-Shabbat events like just for freshmen to get to know each other, which was like a great thing for like us to all like bond and stuff. And then in terms of the building itself, the Hillel building is always stocked with like snacks and drinks. So it was a great hangout place for me and my friends to hang out in. And not only hang out and socialize, but also do homework. I would have a lot of late night study sessions with my friends, especially during finals week, because Hillel was like, I was like my secret study spot that I told everyone because it was nice and quiet. And it was like a break from the library. So I really enjoyed that. And then also, which Tessa will touch on, is first year committee, which is a leadership opportunity for freshmen to get involved in. And I got involved in it first semester. So it was a group of about 8 freshmen, and we met every few weeks to plan events for the freshmen. And our most successful event was at the end of the year called Distress Fest, which was right before finals week, and we had like make your own care packages, build your own acai bowls and waffles. And then we also had a therapy dog, and it was just like a nice way to de-stress from like all this final studying. And then Lindsay talked about the fellowships. So one of the fellowships that I did this past year was I did the fellowship with Enav, which was Kol Yisrael. So we learned about the ethnic diversity in Israel, and she brought in guest speakers every week, and we learned about all the different ethnicities that are in Israel and like how they all came to Israel. So we also made food every week, so different like foods from different cultures, which was like really fun to learn about and also eat. And then, so on this slide, Lee also wrote that I'm the editor in chief of the Emory Hillel Hakolot magazine, which we recently just started. So it's just a magazine for writers people who are interested in writing. Now you don't even have to be an English major. I'm a neuroscience major, but I was a part of my magazine in high school. So we decided to start a magazine, and we published our magazine at the end of the spring semester. So if your child is interested in like writing or being in a magazine, then that's a great way to get involved. And then yeah.
That's great, Risa. Thank you for sharing all of that. What Risa doesn't mention is that she's involved in literally everything that goes on with Hillel. And, I don't think, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Risa, but I don't think that was your intention coming into school. Can you talk a little bit about why Hillel? Like, what was it? I know there's tons of offerings, but what was it that made you say, you know what, this kind of matches my interests?
So when I was looking at college campuses when I was touring, something that was really important to me was like having a bit like an actual building, an actual Hillel building, because I knew that it would be a place for me to like escape like stress and everything and just like connect back to like my Jewish identity. I went to a Jewish day school, so being Jewish has been a very important part of my life. So when I toured Emory's campus and I saw the Hillel, I knew that that would be like a place that I would be at all the time, and I've honestly just like felt like have found a home at Hillel through the amazing staff. Everyone is amazing. And like Lindsay mentioned, the coffee chats are wonderful because who doesn't like coffee as a college student? And it's just like a great place. Like I just love the building for like everything it offers between like the programs and just like the social events. I just think like it's just a great place to be.
Thanks, Risa. We really appreciate it. And she is an amazing editor for the Hawkload magazine. Hopefully, you've all seen a link. If you're on this call, theoretically, you would have been part of the email system where our magazine link would have come in. But if you haven't seen it, there's a digital version and we have printed ones that we can give you when you guys come next month. But it is an amazing thing. We're also starting a band at Hillel, and there's interest in other aspects of a full art program. We celebrate Emory Jewish artists at the building as well. We showcase their work. So if your students are artists, please let us know that as well, because we have things for them that'll meet their interests. So now I want Tessa to talk a little bit about, freshman specific programming and how you find your groups.
Yeah, so we have so many things. The first thing I want to talk about is kind of the beginning of the year. We do a lot of different activities, just like everyone else mentioned, at the building and on campus. This year, we're going to be having, I think it's on the second week, we're going to be having a freshman make your own mocktails and board games night, which will be a lot of fun. I know it was pretty successful last year. I also have a series called Exploring Atlanta. We provide transportation to all students because I know freshmen can't have cars, and they're pretty subsidized tickets, and we take students all around the city. So our first one's going to be right after the first like week of school, and we're going to be taking people to a Braves game. It was super popular last year, a lot of fun, and we have so many more. We last year we went to Six Flags. We went to the holiday lights at the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. We went to the Georgia Aquarium. We went all over, and I'm excited to do it all over again. And really, what I care about is I want to do what students want to do. So if a student says, "Hey, I want to go to this place," I'll be like, let's see when we can try to make that happen. So there's a lot of really cool, really amazing places we've gotten to go. Also, as Risa talked a little bit about Take Care Tuesday, so it's a bi-weekly wellness event, and depending on the event, it's either on campus or in the building. And just like you said, kind of sushi making, we did build your own acai bowls, um we did build your own cheese boards. care packages, so many more. We did Lego succulents. And this year we're even thinking about potentially we want to do a puppy yoga. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, and then first year committee. So we had a group of 9 amazing freshmen be part of our first year committee. We have a first year chair and a student on our student board who she actually was on our first year committee last year. And this group really helps, these group of people are leaders that help plan events for first year. So in the fall, one of the really successful events was called Chai with High. High, High with Chai. I always get the names mixed up. So there is a Jewish a cappella group on campus called High Tunes, and they are so much fun. They performed for us, and then we had a chai tea bar, and it was a blast. And Arisa talked a little bit about De-Stress Fest, which was a lot of fun. And most of these students that were in first year committee are now going to be serving on our Hillel student board. So it really just shows how much it's a really great leadership opportunity. So there's so many more opportunities that I mentioned, but there's so many ways to get involved. And these first year committee events are really targeted to get first years who maybe might be a little bit nervous, go into an event alone to just meet other first years versus just having so many other people there.
Thank you, Tessa. I want to highlight to everybody on this call that all the amazing social media that you see coming out of our Instagram feeds and different things, it's Tessa. She is 100% more skilled than I will ever imagine to be at social media. As you saw in the beginning, I'm not great with any kind of technology, much less social media, and she is a godsend when it comes to that. And she also has interns that work for her that help with social media and help with marketing. So you will always know what is going on throughout the year. If you follow us on Instagram, and I'll show you the links coming up in just a minute. But 99% of the time, that's Tessa that's keeping you informed. So thank you for all that, Tessa. We appreciate it. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about what Hillels of Georgia means. And so some of you may have looked at our website and some of you may have looked at different things. Emory Hillel is part of a wider system called Hillels of Georgia. It includes us, University of Georgia, Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State, Georgia College, Georgia State, and smaller campuses all around the state. And basically, like Emory Hillel is an umbrella organization for the campus, Hillels of Georgia is an umbrella organization for all the other campuses. So really, we do so many things with other campuses in Georgia, giving us such a more varied viewpoint for our students when they see things going on. What happened at the University of Georgia, what happened at Emory are very different kinds of groups of students, and they get to interact in so many different ways. One of the ways, Lindsay took them all whitewater rafting last year. I think you had 30 students, give or take, that went there. We do a large convention called LSLI, which is the Levin Silberman Leadership Institute. And basically, it's an opportunity to give mentorship opportunities to our students. So some of Atlanta's business leaders, some of the doctors, some of the lawyers around Atlanta come in and they mentor students, go to these programs, and they learn from different individuals. Last year, we had Chloe Hector, which is, I've been told, is a social media celebrity. Some of you probably know from your kids. Again, I'm 48. I don't know Chloe Hector, but she was good. She was very good. But we also do large scale speakers. A couple years ago, Naftali Bennett came in and spoke to all of our students. And this year, we are trying to plan basketball tournaments and different things in between the campuses to try to do different things that'll, both unite and pit each campus against one another, because we have the opportunity to do that. Our campuses are close enough that we can actually do stuff together, learn from each other, study together, be social together, and find opportunities all throughout Georgia. So it's a great opportunity that a lot of other states don't have. I think there's only 2 or 3 other states that actually have full systems the way we do, but it might be the way that it's going to go in the future because it's so effective. So what's coming up next for you guys? Our on-campus welcome events. Lindsay, do you want to talk about pre-orientation Shabbat and what that looks like?
Yes, I can kind of do a rapid fire through all of our Welcome Week events. So pre-orientation Shabbat is the Friday before official freshman move-in. So if your student is doing a pre-orientation program, or if you just so happen to be in town Friday night, come out and join us. It's open to everyone, including families. I kindly ask that you RSVP so that we know we have enough food for everyone. But also everyone is welcome. Rabbi Nikki will be leading a service. And then after that, we will all convene together in our social hall for dinner.
Yeah. The QR codes you guys see on the screens is to RSVP, and it'll be the same one for this one and the next one.
So that's Priyo Shabbat. And then we also have our annual welcome brunch. We love our welcome brunch. We welcome all of the Jewish organizations on campus into our social hall for a morning of schmoozing and eating and getting to know each other. Again, families are all completely welcome. First years are completely encouraged to attend. I also encourage our upperclassmen to come as well because there's always new things to learn about Jewish life at Emory. And so we invite as many of our Jewish organizations on campus as possible. You know, sometimes it's difficult for some of them to attend because Sunday is the upperclassmen move-in day, so some of them aren't able to make it. But I think last year there was only one group that we invited that couldn't make it, which is pretty good in my eyes. So you can come and meet Chabad, Mayor's pre-professional groups, Eagles for Israel, to meet. Everyone will be in the same room together, and you can really see the full span of what Emory Jewish life has to offer. And of course, brunch is going to be provided because we're Jews and we love food. So that will be Sunday, and hopefully you can swing by before you leave campus. And it also starts before it happens before official orientation starts. So you can start meeting people before that.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. I appreciate that. Is there any other events you want to talk about other than those two?
I would love to, actually.
Yeah, please.
Just a very quick overview. I'll fly through these. First day of class, we take a little break in our programming after welcome brunch because we know that your students are in orientation, upperclassmen are moving in. So we really take a break from that Sunday until that Wednesday when the first day of class starts. First day of class, we love to give out cookies on campus, so you can come find us somewhere on campus. Come take your first day of class pictures, and hopefully parents, you'll all receive those first day of class pictures. So we'll give students a board to hold up. We'll get photos for them. They get a free cookie with it. So we have that on the first day of class. We also will have our first schmooze and schmear of the year. So bagels on campus, all the good stuff, and coffee. That Friday will be our first Shabbat of the year after Priyo Shabbat. It'll be the first Friday that everyone is back on campus. And we always kick it off with Shabbarbecue. So before Shabbat begins, we do a giant party in our parking lot. So there's inflatables and music, and Lee will be grilling because I will not be grilling. And just it's a great time for everyone to come together. We have a snow cone machine. And then before Shabbat starts, we clean everything up, and then everyone will move into services together to bring in Shabbat. So that's that first Friday. Tessa mentioned the Braves game. And then the other thing that I will put on everyone's radar is that we are bringing back our whitewater rafting trip this year. So if your student is really passionate or loves outdoors or whitewater rafting, we're going to be offering it again. And that link will be coming out soon.
Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. So opportunities for parents and how to get involved. There's a number of things that you guys can do. There's a number of Facebook groups that I encourage you to join. These aren't Emory Hillel affiliated necessarily, but all of us are part of them. The Emory University Jewish Parents Group is a great resource to find out and meet other parents, not just incoming this year, but all different classes. People post all the time. There's always things going on. People talk about furniture being sold from upperclassmen. So if you're ever looking for anything like that, there's people who are looking for rides back and forth, freshmen who are looking for roommates. It's a great group to belong to just for Emory. Also, the Emory Parents Against Anti-Semitism group. This is more of a political focused group, and not in a political, when I say, like, it's not Republican, Democrat kind of political, but it's political like when President Fenves was fighting all the protests on campus. There was comments from the parents as to what can we do? How do we support? Can we write letters? It's a great way to be involved in the story behind the story and to know what is happening from a parent perspective when it comes to difficult things happening on campus. So I encourage you guys to look into that, to join those groups. From a social media standpoint, our Instagram page, a lot of you have already joined this group. I see new people joining all the time. Tessa posts 2 or 3 times a week. Is it 2 times a week or 3 times a week, Tessa?
It's most days, not Shabbat, but it's most days. There's something.
Okay.
It's normally a story too.
Yeah. So if you want to find out what's happening on a daily perspective at Emory University for Jewish students, our Instagram is usually the best way to do that. We do have a TikTok group, although I've never seen us post on it. So I'm not really sure how active we are on that. I took TikTok away from my kids, so I don't know how active we are on there, so they'll never see it. But you guys, my team would know. Again, I don't know much about social media, but my team would know what's going on with that. We have started a new WhatsApp group for parents specifically. So this would be an opportunity for all of you to share what's going on with you all and what concerns you have. I am part of this. I think maybe a couple of my staff are, but students are not part of this. So this is an opportunity for you guys to kind of, take a look at talking to each other. If you're looking to set up rides between students from, say, LA to Emory, this is a great opportunity to do that. If you want to do programming and get together as citywide parents, it's a great way to do that. It's the first time we're doing something like this, so we're going to let you guys run with that. This is not for us specifically. If there's anything that we need to share with you, whether it's an emergency or whether it's something great, this will be a great way for us to communicate with all of you directly. So I encourage you all to join the WhatsApp group. And then from helping us from a more global standpoint, we don't charge membership fees when it comes to Hillel. So I don't want you to ever think that we're charging anybody for food at the building. We're not charging anybody for drinks. We have a coffee shop on site. All of that is taken care of by us. 99% of our programs are paid for by us. A couple things like the Explore Atlanta series will be subsidized by parents, but it's very, very reasonable pricing. We're not charging anything extravagant when it comes to that. But we rely on the kindness of parents and alumni and community members. So if you're looking to, if you have a foundation, you're looking to donate this year, please consider us as a great opportunity to donate money to support our students so that the Jewish students at Emory always have a place to be and we don't have to charge them anything on the other end. So this is the QR code. If you want to donate to us, there will be opportunities throughout the year. You'll get different campaigns sent to you. There's Passover, there's holidays, different things that go on. All of it goes towards programming for our students. It doesn't go towards staffing, it doesn't go towards landscaping, none of that kind of stuff. It's all for programming. So if you do feel like donating, this would be the QR code. So final tips and takeaways before we get to Q&A. And it's 5:40. We're actually doing really well on time right now. So I want you guys to think about this from a parent standpoint. You should create communication outlets with parents from your own area. Westchester has a text group. LA is going to start a text group with each other. And you obviously have the WhatsApp group, but this is for private kind of things in your area. If you want to get to know the people, you are part of the Hillel family. Like I mentioned before, between you and the alumni and the students and the community, you're all part of the family. You should all get to know one another as well. You should ask your kids questions about what's going on campus, but don't force them to do things. Risa could probably speak more to this than anything. I am friends with Risa's parents. I love Risa's parents. I tell Risa's parents all the time, don't tell her what to do. She'll figure it out on her own. You guys, you're going to have to fight the instinct to want to be involved in every minute of what they're doing in college. But trust me, the best way to get them to do anything is let them make choices on their own. They're adults. We have had parents that have visited 10 times a year and their students will never say they resent it, but it could get tiresome. And then we have parents that never visit at all, and that's just as bad. from a global standpoint for your kids' well-being. There's a happy medium in there. There's homecoming weekend, which has parent events and alumni events. There's different opportunities throughout the year to be involved in things. Use your best judgment, but just know your kids are adults and treat them as such. It'll be a much better relationship as you go forward from here. However, share opportunities with your kids as you see them. If something catches your eye, like LSLI or any of these other conferences, mention it to your kids. Say, hey, I saw on social media that this is happening. Have you looked at it? Have you checked it out? We don't necessarily worry if your kids are coming to 20 Hillel events a year. We want them to be involved in something on campus. If it's us, wonderful. That's amazing. We want to do the best we can for them. But if it's not us, we don't force that, guys. We reach out to everybody we invite. We tell people that things are happening. We let them know when events are going on and how they can best be part of that. But we don't force anybody to do anything. So if you see opportunities out there that you think look like something that might be something cool for your kid, let them know. Let them know to contact us. Let them know to contact Lindsay and Tessa and Einav and Rabbi Nikki. Let them know they could contact students. Let them reach out to Risa. Let them reach out to our presidents. Let them reach out to everybody who's around. There's so many things that they can do that you don't have to force anything. They'll find it on their own. And finally, get involved at Emory. There's parent councils for Emory. There's different events that they do throughout the year for parents specifically. There are events within your cities that we do. We come out and try to do things for you. Like I said, I was in LA this week meeting with parents. I'm in San Francisco or San Jose, or I don't really know where I am right now, Los Gatos, which is Silicon Valley. I am here. I like to see you guys in person. I really want to create social opportunities with all of you, and I hope that it means something to you that we're coming out to see you guys as well. We want you to be there and be involved. So this is my contact information. If you need any, if you need to get in touch with me for any reason, if you need anybody else's, I will gladly share everybody else's contact information with you as we go forward. But for now, why don't we talk about, hold on. Can everybody see the screen again? Screen sharing has stopped. Okay. So how do you get added to a local text group from Ian? That's a great question. It depends on where you live. Right now, the only one I know for sure that exists is the Westchester group, and I can hook you up with the people who run that one. But within your own cities, we can share lists of people that live within your own cities, and we can create those groups for you to join. Last year, we did it on GroupMe. I don't know, Lindsay, are we still using GroupMe really? So we'll probably create everything on WhatsApp going forward, right?
WhatsApp.
Okay, so that'll be the way we do that. So if you are interested in forming these groups, I can help you facilitate those things and kind of go from there. So we want to open this up to a Q&A for the last 15 minutes. We know that there's a lot of questions out there. We know there's a lot of concerns that you may have, things that we didn't touch on. So I'm going to let you guys talk. And I guess the best way to do this is,
Lee,
go
I'm
ahead.
actually going to jump in, and we have some questions in the chat already.
Wonderful, because I don't know how to check that. That's great.
We will get started with those, and then after that, please feel free to shout out questions as they come up, or you can put them in the chat and I'll read them out and answer them.
Perfect.
The quickest answer, if you joined late, yes, you can get a recording of this. That is why it is being recorded, and we want you to have all the information you need. The next question, how are the Oxford Emory students integrated into Hillel? Tessa, would you like to take this one?
Sure. So we have a couple different opportunities. So we switch off with Chabad. Every other Friday, we'll provide them Shabbat meals will be brought to them. And also, I normally go about once a month up to Oxford to do different events. We did a candle making event around Hanukkah, and we had Sufganiyot, which was a lot of fun. We did around Tu B'Shvat, we did planting. I know Lindsay went and did succulents in the sukkah. They built Lego succulents. We did a matzah bar during Passover, so matzah with all the different types of spreads. So we do a lot of opportunities with them, and they're always welcome. I know it's a little bit of a far bus ride, but I know Emory provides a bus, but they're always welcome and encouraged to come to our building. We love having them.
And the other thing I'll jump in and say is that Oxford Jewish Life also, they're very independent in the best way possible. They have their own Jewish student union that coordinates their own events, and they have their own student board. So even if it's not Hillel specific or Chabad specific, they are still doing things as a student organization. And they get the benefit of having the support of Hillel and Chabad on top of that. Any other questions? I will open the floor. Okay. Can we start a local text group for the Oxford parents? Lee, I will turn that over to you.
Yes, actually, I was hoping somebody would ask that question because the easiest way for the Oxford students to stay involved is to know what's going on with us. That's going to involve the parents also telling them what they see on social media because, like Lindsay said, they do get pretty independent there. There's a great Jewish community at Oxford. So the students that go there, yes, they have the opportunity to come to everything, like Tessa said, but they do their own things. They meet, they have events, they do a lot of, they have leadership there. There's all different kinds of things. We encourage you to start a text group with each other because you want to let your students know what's going on, and it's important to find out, are they being taken care of in the right way? Are we doing everything we can to make sure that they feel like they are part of the Jewish world of Emory? Because I guarantee you, they are very much part of the Emory world. It's Oxford is, in case anybody hasn't been there that's on this call, Oxford's amazing. It's a beautiful campus. It's actually the original Emory campus. And the buildings are historical. There's life to be had there. There's social opportunities there. The food is really, really good for some reason. Like it's extraordinarily good. Maybe it's just because I eat a lot, but it's really, really good food. And I think that having the opportunity to be in smaller classes with more attention from a professor, there's so many great opportunities that come from Oxford, and the Jewish world is thriving there. And we will create that text group for you guys just as much. You have to let me know who's going to Oxford and who's not. I think I have an idea a little bit, but just email me and let me know that you're interested in that.
And then the piggyback question on that, the bus schedule shows that the bus doesn't come back so late on Fridays. So if Oxford students come for Shabbat, how do they get back to Oxford campus? So Oxford students have a special privilege that the Atlanta campus freshmen don't have, which is that they do, as far as I know, have the opportunity to have a car. Not saying that your freshman needs to have a car, but the odds are they're going to know a freshman that has a car. So there's lots of carpooling that happens. And also, I will say, whether they're coming to Hillel or they're coming to Chabad, they end up connecting with people. And I know a lot of students in the past have ended up having sleepovers on Atlanta campus and then just taking the bus back the next morning once it starts running again. So it's definitely feasible and very doable. We had a group, we had a large group actually of Oxford freshmen last year carpool together to come to campus for high holidays for Rosh Hashanah. So there will be opportunities that they can meet other Jewish students and get transportation coordinated with them.
Yeah, and we should be doing Oxford reunions on campus. It is a really special thing when you go to Oxford and then you transfer to the Emory main campus. We don't want them to lose those connections to the people they knew when they were at Oxford. So that's something I'm going to look into this year to see if there's any way that we can kind of push some kind of reunion schedule so they can all stay in touch and still feel like they're part of that. But a lot of them become leaders with Hillel as they go on. A lot of the Oxford students are just used to being part of it, and then they just kind of transition into leadership in the main campus as well with Emory Hillel. So, Lindsay, what's the next question?
Next question, what is the climate like regarding anti-Semitism at Emory in this current time and generally in the city of Atlanta?
That's a great question. I'm actually surprised it took this long to ask that. It's usually the first question we get across the board. It's usually the first question most campuses around the country get. And I can tell you this, very few campuses in the United States are as safe as Emory. Um, we have not, it's not to say we haven't had anything ever happen. There are small little protest groups that do pop up every once in a while. But when I say small, I'm talking 8 people holding a sign or chalking on campus. Jewish students at Emory feel free to wear a kippot, to have Israeli paraphernalia with them. There hasn't really been any issues in quite some time now. Now, with that being said, we always tell our students to be eternally vigilant because just because it's not happening right now, you just never know what's going to happen in the future, and human nature is human nature. But we are very much supported by the administration at Emory. We have strong ties to different departments around the campus. The Office of Spiritual Religious Life is very much on our side. They know what's going on. They know what the hazards are. They know what the fears can be. And they all work together to make sure that we are safe. Risa, do you feel safe as a student at Emory?
Yes, I was actually going to ask if I could join in on this.
Yeah.
Definitely. So one thing that I want to mention is that for October 7th, last year we had a very big vigil right in the center of campus. I would say, I don't know, maybe like over 100 students were there, and there were no protests or anything. We all gathered right in the center of campus, and I felt safe, and so many other students felt safe. And so I would say, like Lee said, like I think Emory is probably like one of the safest campuses for Jewish students right now, because we're very supported by like the staff, and like the faculty from like everywhere. And I also wanted to mention that both that like Chabad, for example, and also Hillel have security people there all the time. So at Chabad for Shabbat, they have security guards outside. And then at Hillel, you can't just like walk into the building, which Lee can touch on this as well. You have to ring the doorbell. So I always feel very safe with that, knowing that like no, like not everyone can enter the building. Like you have to be let in, which is like another safety component that's like really helped like with that safety.
Yeah, Risa's right. Our building is ultra secure, so secure, in fact, that sometimes we can't even open the door because our apps don't work to open up the doorbell. But it is very, very, very safe. There's like 2 different levels in order to get in. 3 or 4 times a week at night, I have somebody at the front desk that makes everybody sign in so we know who's in the building at all times. We actually report attendance numbers to Emory PD so they know who is in our building at any one time or who's at our events. We have an incredible relationship with Emory Police Department and the administration. But again, it's about eternally being vigilant and knowing that, it only takes one crazy. I mean, the fact is, we live down the street from the CDC, and, people have their opinions about the CDC one way or the other. And we have always been safe, and I think we will always continue to be safe. I feel safe. I don't really ever question anything being Jewish at Emory. And I can't say that for other campuses that I step foot on. And I tour a lot of campuses around the country. Emory is very much one of the safest.
Great.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
There is one more question. You kind of touched on it already, but Lee and Risa, I'll give you both the opportunity if there's anything you want to add. How much, if any, political conflict has occurred on campus in regards to Israel?
Well, I can tell you this. Israel Fest last year had well over 200 people. We were in the middle of campus, and there was not one single protester there. Now, we had 4 police officers, 2 uniformed, 2 plainclothes, and they were wandering around the crowd. Nobody knew they were there. We also had Open Expression, which is a organization at Emory which monitors protests and monitors how people can organize and do different things. You have to register your protests at Emory, which makes it very difficult to do anything with signs, or you can't have tents on campus because there's no encampments allowed. So it kind of diffuses protests before they would really even start. There have been political political battles between there's a Democratic Socialist group at Emory versus campus Republicans, like that comes up. The one thing I will say is the one part of campus that we've had issues with over the past is the Emory Wheel, which is the campus newspaper. They are not generally supportive of Jewish life. Not that they're not supportive either. It's not like they're actively fighting against Jewish life, but they don't generally kind of highlight many things that go on in the Jewish world, to the point that some of our students have written op-eds complaining about that over the course of the last year. Listen, I can't tell you that most college newspapers are different right now. I kind of think that's just part of the times we live in, but we do have a very active student board that tries to get the message across and fights back against that kind of thing. So, Risa, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you've said everything exactly right.
Okay. So it is 8:59. I think we did pretty well to keep this under an hour. If there are no more questions, we want you to know just how excited we are that your kids are joining us this year. It's a month away now. We are working hard to make sure that we are ready for you. Um, we are always here if you need anything. The only thing that we care about, yeah, I can go back to my, but it's Lee at emoryhillel.org. Let me see if I
Putting it in the
type
chat.
that in. Yeah. The only thing we care about, really, at the end of the day, is that your kids are happy. We believe in hospitality. We believe in making sure that everybody has a place, that we don't care about who you are, what your beliefs are as a Jew. You're always welcome at Hillel. And whatever they need, whatever we can do, however that looks, our staff, Lindsay, Tessa, Einav, Rabbi Nikki, myself, the staff at Emory, whether that's Rabbi Lipsker and Miriam Lipsker, or Rabbi Fleschel at Mayor, or Rabbi Bronig with the Office of Spiritual Religious Life, there's a support basis at Emory that you're not going to find at a lot of other campuses, and we're all here for you. So call us, let us know if you need anything. I thank you all for joining us, and we will speak with you soon.
And we'll stay on if there's any private questions. And by the
Yeah,
way, if any of your students are listening in, hi, and we're so excited to meet you when you get here.
fill out your freshman survey if you're here. Bye, guys. Anybody sticking around? All right, I am going to stop recording. How do I do that? Oh, stop recording.